hold on? Does he hold on to this pick? And what do Nico do with that? Nico stood strong, stood on all 10 toes. You know what I mean? And this happened. And let me explain something to you. When you talk about a guy like Cooper Flagg, first of all, this is how you turn boos into cheers. That's number one. But when you're talking about Cooper Flagg, you're talking about a different type of competitor, right? Like everyone in the league is a competitor because you don't get to the NBA without competing. But when I'm talking about a different level of competition and competing, I'm looking at this man, I'm talking about like KG type competing. And when I say that is that he don't like to lose at nothing. Everything he does is a competition. In the weight room, it's a competition. Molly, UD, J. Will, one of my best friends is an assistant college coach. Right now he's at Arizona. He was at Texas last year. He went and looked at Cooper Flagg and he went to a few of his practices when he was in high school 2 years ago. And he said, man, everybody was blown away about his practice and not because of the scrimmage. I said, what? He was like, when it was time for them to line up and it was time for them to run suicides, it was a competition with a first down and back. And it's not a front. He wasn't fronting. This is who he is. So when you get a guy that's 6'8", 6'9", a complete player that got a high motor that's going to come in and punch in the clock, take pride in defending, we know what he's going to bring on the offensive end. Hell yeah, and your future is looking bright. Hell yeah, the Mavs should feel great about Nico Harrison and the Dallas Mavericks. Y'all about to get Cooper Flagg.
I preface this by saying I love Nico. I've known Nico since I've been 16 years old. I think there is a difference between what we know about things, insiders, about things that actually happen on a day-to-day basis, and our reality and our context with that, as opposed to the fan base that is in love with a guy like Luka. So my answer to you, Perk, would be, no, I don't think the fans should feel any differently about Nico at all until he wins it. You have to win a world championship. You're giving yourself a window of 2 to 4 years. And think about this, Big Perk, too, right? It's not just about the trade of Luka that hurt people. It's also about the ROI, the return on investment. You traded him for AD, Max Christie, and a first-round draft pick. We just watched Mikal Bridges get traded for 5 first-round picks and Bogdanovich, right? So the value was off. And also, it's the fact that there's a 1.8% chance that they got the first pick in the draft. There is a huge element of luck, and I give Adam Silver all the credit in the world for how he's been able to do the draft lottery. And I think the NFL should take a page out of his book and how they should do it for their league as well. But there is so much luck that goes into that. Great for Dallas that they got it. But now that you've got it, what are you going to do with it? You think they're going to keep Cooper Flagg. I can make an argument that maybe they should trade Cooper Flagg for a guy like Giannis if they have some of the assets, if they're able to get it. So there's still TBD about how the fan base should feel for Nico, but it's okay for them to keep the heat on him right now. That was a bold move, my man, and now he has to back it up.
Yeah, J. Will, I got to agree with you on that one. I think, for me, they should definitely stay on him. You also traded the guy who led the playoffs last year in scoring, rebounding, and assists. Winning cures everything, and as talented as Cooper Flagg is, we do not know what he will be in the NBA. There's only time will tell with that. But what I will say is there are 3 teams that did what Nico was able to do last night. The Orlando Magic had a 1.7% chance in '93. They ended up getting Penny Hardaway out of that after they traded Chris Webber for him. The Bulls had Derrick Rose in 2008. He ended up being the youngest MVP ever. And in 2014, the Cleveland Cavaliers had Wiggins. They traded him for Kevin Love, and they ended up winning the championship. So with that being said, there is hope for Nico, but he has to win, and that has to parlay into a winning situation for him. I'm not just going to give him that because his ass got lucky and got the #1 pick. That does not save you, in my opinion, Nico, at all.
Kirk?
Hold on. Before the draft lottery, I would agree with both of y'all that the window for him to win the championship in the next 2 to 3 years, that he has to win a championship in the next 2 to 3 years. But after you get Cooper Flagg, you go to the NBA draft lottery and you walk out of there with Cooper Flagg, no, your franchise is set. And hell no, I'm not trading my #1 pick for Giannis. I'm not doing that if I'm Nico. No, do you not expect? And Jay Will, you of all people on this panel watch Cooper Flag up close in person more than anybody.
Is he a sure bet though, Perk?
Yeah.
That's the thing. Is he a sure bet? Do we know?
Is he a sure bet?
I'm
you
saying, is
damn
he a-
right, Molly. Listen, I was in the room last night. You know what I mean? If I look a little sleepy, damn it, that's because I got in at 1:30 this morning. I was in Chicago working the lottery last night. You should have felt the energy in there. Like when it got down to like the last 4 teams, man, I'm telling you, GMs was in there like, man, like this how much of a game changer this young man is. Like he is really, really like that, and he's gonna keep rising. You have to be around him to feel his personality, his mentality. Like he wants it. The Dallas Mavericks are in a great position. They're set up short term and they're set up long term. And again, I think, in my opinion, it's just only fair. We can't really judge this trade with Luka Doncic until we see a fully healthy Dallas Maverick team on the floor together. Because one could argue if they had AD and Kyrie, both of those guys healthy, along with Gafford and Derek Lively and PJ Washington, we might be looking at this team right now somewhere in the mix of being in the Western Conference Finals on their way back to the NBA Finals.
And all those names you name is another reason why we have to see how Cooper Flag fits into that situation. Because of the P.J. Washingtons, because of the Max Christies, because of the Najee Marshalls, because of the Caleb Martins. These are all wing guys who pretty much play the same position. But what I will say to you, Perk, is we acting like Giannis ain't still in his prime. We acting like Giannis ain't a former MVP. We acting like Giannis ain't a defensive player of the year. We acting like Giannis ain't one of the best two-way players, if not the best two-way player that we've seen. Definitely one of the most dominant. So what you're saying is we're going to turn down the opportunity to get a player who's won a championship in a small market, has done it by himself, and bet on a young guy. And that says nothing against Cooper Flag. But we just talking about in the now. How can we pass up on that, Perk? How you pass up on that?
This is what I'm explaining.
You always take deals, Perk. I know you always down for a good deal. You don't never pass up I ain't never seen you pass up a deal, Perk.
I never pass up a deal, but I don't believe Giannis, like the Dallas Mavericks, are a team that is on Giannis' wish list. Like he's not trying to get down to Dallas. And I'm gonna tell you this: Giannis want to go to a team that Giannis can control, right? Like the Dallas Mavericks, yeah, you could have Kyrie may have a little say so, AD may have a little say so, but Nico's running the ship. And what I'm saying is that I don't believe Giannis wants to go to Dallas.
Where do you think he wants to go?
I believe that Giannis he wants to stay on the East Coast. Giannis wants to stay in the Eastern Conference. Yeah. Like he's not trying to go out west. He wants to stay in the Eastern Conference. I know this for a fact. Yep. So what I'm saying is, if you're Dallas, why are you even looking to entertain that at the moment?